What up, my man? Will we make a move opening day free agency? I sure hope so. And I think we're going to be live on our main chat sports channel, probably around free agency as soon as it gets started, 4 p.m. Eastern time. But I think the Raiders are going to be active because Mike Mayock said that the defense is not very good at his press conference today, and he also kind of went in depth and said, like, yeah, we're going to be very active with the free agent market, and there's a lot of talented linebackers. I kind of want them to save their money on wide receivers, but do we make an opening day move? I'm going to say yeah, and if they do, I can guarantee you we're going to be live. We're going to be talking about it. Heck, one of the best shows I ever did was Tyrell Williams signing. We're going to be doing a lot more like that, so make sure you're subscribed. Speaking of being subscribed, here you go. We need 1,200 more by March. I was told by the bosses, if we can get to 40K subscribers, we're going to throw an NFL draft party, and anybody that's subscribed to the Raiders Report, you're going to be invited. So here are some people who have recently subscribed. Cisco Perez, Raider Chief for Life, Brandon Soto, Hennessy, bring it to the draft party. This month is all about just showing people that I appreciate that you take time out of your day to watch my show. You don't have to, and I appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do. YouTube.com/Raiders Report. And if you guys want to see some cool Raiders highlights, Raider Junkies is your dude. Let's go to U Green. What up, U Green? What about the Ravens free agent defensive tackle, Michael Pierce? If there is a defensive tackle that I want, it's a long shot, but it's Chris Jones. Like, Chris Jones is the Raiders' #1 free agent target. Now, do I think he goes back to the Chiefs? Yes. For me, though, Michael Pierce is an average player, and I think he'd be an average fit for our team. P.J. Hall was good. Mo Hurst, I think, needs to be better in year 3. Jonathan Hankins is getting better as well, and I think he's 29. But for me, defensive tackle is not our biggest need. If we're going to spend money in defensive tackle, let's try to hit a home run with Chris Jones. Let's go to another super chat here from Aaron York. What's up, my man? Your opinion on bringing a defensive lineman. I mean, you can never bring in too many defensive linemen, right? I mean, building up front is very important. And I get it, like, you know, we sit on here, we talk a lot about just players in general. Like, Max Crosby is great, 10 sacks. Cleveland Ferrell, I think, is going to be better in his next year. But you need to have a lot of depth at that position. Like, we need to get another Ben Samayoa, a player who's going to play like 30 snaps, and when he's in the game, he's very effective. Because I actually think in this type of NFL, you need a NASCAR package. So, yes, I still think the Raiders should bring in a defensive lineman. Let's go to Derek. What up, my man? Make sure that you guys are using #FA. The Raiders will sign Littleton and Chris Jones. Knock on wood if you're with me. I'd be totally game for it. I mean, Cory Littleton is my #1 free agent target at the linebacking position. A 2016 UDFA. Look at this. We got our top free agent linebackers. That's what's up, Alicia. #1 is Littleton. It's a guy that I absolutely love. If you want to look at another linebacker target, Joe Schobert, Kyle Van Noy. Jamie Collins is a little bit older, but I think he'd be a great leader on that defense. And then in terms of just defensive linemen, the one guy that I don't really want them to sign is Shaq Barrett. Because Shaq out of nowhere has 19.5 sacks, and the dude's going to get $20 million. I'm good on that. If we're going to pay somebody, if Yannick Ngakoue hits free agency, I'd be all about that. And honestly, even a player that wouldn't surprise me is Robert Quinn. Let's go to Raider Nation Trich. What free agent running back would we pick up to back Jacob? I actually don't think the Raiders are going to sign a running back in free agency. I think the biggest question is Isaiah Crowell healthy? Because maybe they'll bring him back after the Achilles injury. I'm not sure if he is. But you already signed Jalen Richard to 2 years, $7 million. Can make $8 million in incentives. I think in terms of spending money in free agency, I don't want to do it on a running back. You're going to have to pay him a lot of money. DeAndre Washington, I actually think he's going to hit free agency. Let him do his thing if he wants to make more money. But if you want to draft a running back, I'd be okay with that because you can pay him a lot less compared to paying some veteran RB who's just going to back up Josh Jacobs. Do I think it's a good question, though? Yes, I appreciate it very, very much. Today's sponsor, Bet.the, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Who here has watched the XFL? If you have, type XFL in the comments. Because if you have, you can go to Bet.the and you can bet on XFL games. Go to chatsports.com/bet. We'll put the link in the chat. So all you got to do is click on it. When you do click on it, use the promo code Raiders120. Gets you 120% deposit bonus. You can also bet, though, on MLB, NBA. Shout out to Edward. Shout out to Las Vegas Raiders News. It's a clever name. Casey and Machado also watch the XFL. Go get started with Bet.the. Jeff, my dude. How you doing, man? What are we going to do with Isaiah Crowell? We got to see if he's healthy. Because anytime you see a player who's a little bit banged up, I shouldn't say a little bit banged up. For a running back, Isaiah Crowell's been in the league, like 4 years now? That starts to take a big toll on your body. When you have an Achilles injury, that's going to zap some of your energy out of your legs. So you got to see what you have in him. When the Raiders first went out and got him, they got him for like 1 year, $3 million, $4 million. If he's healthy, you can consider bringing him back. But the Achilles injury does scare me, though. Let's go to Enrique. What up, my man? What do you think about picking up Witten from the Cowboys? So I'm guessing you mean Jason Witten, tight end. No, I can't do it. I'm pretty sure Tom could outrun Jason Witten at this point in their career. I get that he's a 16-year vet. I get that he shows great leadership. I think he could help Foster Moreau grow, but you're going to have to pay Jason Witten like $3 million, and at that point, I don't think he's going to come, and he wants to stay with the Cowboys. Which, again, I actually hope that the Cowboys keep him. Let's go to Richard. Thoughts on Brashard Perriman? Low cost, low risk, high upside. So Brashard Perriman was a former first-round draft pick. Never really lived up to it, but did have a little bit of a solid year this year for the Buccaneers. Now, I will say the games that I want you to watch are the ones where Chris Godwin and Mike Evans went down. Perriman was asked to step up. But that's also in an offense that's very pass-friendly. Jameis Winston threw for over 5,000 yards, and also Jameis was just slinging it. Personally, I don't really want Perriman because I think he's going to try to get the bag, and if I'm Perriman, I'm going to try to sign a 1 year, $10 million deal. And I don't want to pay Brashard Perriman $9 or $10 million. So, appreciate it. Also, Rich, get a picture. So, I do have a question. What was your first Raiders jersey? Your first ever Raiders jersey, okay? What was it? For me, it was Derek Carr, okay? When I hit 10,000 subscribers, everyone here at the Chat Sports Studio, they pitched in some money to get me a Derek Carr jersey. So, we'll give some shout-outs here to some of the peeps. I want to know what your first Raiders jersey was. So, Ruben says Tim Brown. Jeff, okay. Charles Woodson, Darren McFadden. Seeing a lot of Tim Brown. Seeing a Bo Jackson. Jerry Rice. King Higgins says McFadden. Santos says McFadden. Enrique says Randy Moss. Oh, did I just see it? Jamarcus Russell? Oh, boy, I'm sorry. Napoleon Kaufman from Adam. Howie Long from Jeff Rogers. La Lozado from V. Mario and Al Wright. Let's see who else we got. McFadden, Mac, Shake My Head, Charles Woodson, Stabler, Long. Is anybody first jersey Derek Carr? Anyone? We can agree on something? Yeah? Somebody says Warren Sapp. There's one. A white Bo Jackson jersey from Floor Ninja. Rich Gannon says Tyler, and then Alden Smith. Well, jerseys. We also got t-shirts here on the Raiders Report. Go get yourself a t-shirt. Go to chatsports.com/Raiders shirts. If you don't have, let's say, enough money to get a jersey, we got t-shirts. Every shirt that you see on screen, it's under $20, okay? I've spent a hard amount of my time looking for deals for you guys. I know some people are like, Mitch, I don't have money to afford a jersey. It's okay. We're finding t-shirts. Just trying to help you out. Go to chatsports.com/Raiders shirts. All sizes, under $20. If you guys see other gear that you want me to put on the show, hey, hit me up. IG's down below. We do have another super chat rolling in here from Josh T. Again, if you want your questions on the show, you can use #FA or you can super chat. Do you think Rod Marinelli hire could influence Byron Jones to sign with us? I mean, I don't think it hurts. I think what's the biggest influence for Byron Jones is going to be the dollar bills, right? I mean, he wants to get paid. He had a good year. I think he's going to get about $16 million. If there is one player that I think it could impact the most, it's actually Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn obviously worked very close with Marinelli. Marinelli is now our defensive line coach. I think Marinelli could actually at some point be the next DC if Paul Gunther doesn't get his crap together. Byron Jones I would take in a heartbeat, but if we're talking about actual influence, I think Robert Quinn would be influenced more than Byron Jones. Let's go to Savior Charles. What's up, my dude? Any ideal free agency for us? Signing Chris Jones, Byron Jones, Cory Littleton, and Tony Jefferson to bolster the defense. Yes, 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 and yes. I would take all of them, right? I've released videos, though, on all these players at some point. So I've released video on, the top safety targets, the top cap casualties which Tony Jefferson at the time was a member of the Ravens, and now he's on that video. But I have my top cornerbacks video out, top defensive players that the Raiders should look at in free agency. Go check it out. There's a bunch there, and if you guys have any more, send them to me. All right, Godson187 says Khalil Mack. Well, Khalil Mack's not a free agent, so you'd have to trade for him. And the only I've seen a lot of people ask me, Mitch, why can't they get Khalil Mack? The reason? Because if the Bears trade Khalil Mack, I think he's making $26 million this year. If the Bears trade Khalil Mack, they got to pay him $30 million. So either A, you pay Khalil Mack $26 million to play for your team, or you pay him $30 million to play for another team. What would you do? It's pretty simple. Khalil Mack's not going anywhere. Let's go to Edward. What's up, my man? What about signing Sammy Watkins as a wide receiver? So I do expect the Chiefs to cut ties with Sammy Watkins. He's set to make $21 million or some crazy thing like that. If they cut him, they save like $14 million. If Sammy Watkins becomes a free agent, I do think he actually makes a lot of sense for the Raiders. A team that can sign him relatively cheap, a player that knows the AFC West, a player that played pretty well in the playoffs, and he's got outside speed. And the craziest thing about Sammy Watkins, he's only 26 years old. Still pretty hard to believe. So, would I be okay with Sammy Watkins? Yes. So, if I missed your question, I'm sorry. You can actually blame it on producer Alicia. She didn't put it up on screen. If I did miss it, though, hit me up on Instagram, at Mitchell Renz 365. Just let me know that you were watching the video. Make sure that you use hashtag FA, because after every single live show that I do, I go to my DMs, I answer as many questions as I possibly can, and then I wake up the next morning, and I do the exact same thing. So if I missed your question, I'm sorry. Follow and hit me up on Instagram, at Mitchell Renz 365. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.